Differences are what make the world exciting. I get so excited when I meet somebody that's completely different than me because I'm like, okay, you have different interests than mine, you have a different personality than mine. I want to get to know how you work. It would be so boring if everybody was the same, which a lot of people are the same, but that's boring. You don't want to be like that. So what may feel like a disadvantage now, I promise you when you grow up, you're going to see that's actually a huge advantage. Because we need more people like you in the world, my friend. Woohoo! Music is the most therapeutic thing, in my opinion, or any form of art or self-expression can make you re-fall in love with your passion, with life, with everything. So, yeah. I think it depends what kind of relationship it is, because I feel like I've been in a situation where it was like a romantic relationship where the person was not good for me anymore, as in I knew that it wasn't gonna last, but it was so much fun and so amazing at the time that I was like, okay, this is worth this memory, like this is worth the kind of passionate thing, even though I know that this is not gonna last for a long time. And so in that case, I kind of knew what I was getting into. I knew he was trouble when he walked in, but I did it anyway. But anyway, yeah, sometimes you have to decide if it's worth it or not in like a romantic situation. In a friendship situation and just like people that are toxic, I definitely feel like the best thing to do is just be like, honestly, I need to take care of myself, because once you're in a toxic relationship with somebody like that, it can really start to, you know, scar you for a long time. And you know, there are people that, you know, try to just kind of put you down, or people that have this negative energy that's just meant to like drown you, and those are the kind of people that I feel like you have to cut off as soon as possible, because it starts to affect the way that you see yourself, and you start to see yourself through that person's eyes, which is really, really unhealthy, because that can definitely take a long time to recover from that. So, you know, as hard as it is, and causing the least damage as possible, you know, try to just be honest with the person and just be like, hey, I really need to, you know, take care of myself in this situation. But I wish you the best, and peace out. I think the best thing to do is realize, I think sometimes with family it can be scary because it's people that you know, you think a lot of, and people that you see all the time, and so it's always scary to feel like you're going to, you know, be embarrassed by somebody that you really love, or somebody that, you know, you want to, I don't know, you want to impress or anything like that, but I feel like the best thing to do is to just get it over with, honestly. Sometimes there are things in life that no matter how much you try to make yourself feel less nervous or less scared about it, you're never going to feel less nervous or less scared about it. You just have to go and do it. And once you do it, even though you're going to, you know, feel really nervous in the moment, after you do it, you're like, oh, I survived, I'm still here. And you realize that it's actually not that bad. And I promise you, once they hear you, they'll be like, oh my God, that's gonna mean way more to them that you actually shared that part of yourself than them judging you on how good you sing. Your family doesn't care, they just wanna love you. So yeah. It's just, honestly, it just takes all of your energy. And it's just like, I feel like stress is one of those things where it just kind of, it starts with one thing, and it's kind of has this snowball effect that suddenly everything is stressful. And I feel like when I get stressed, I take a minute away from that situation, whether it's just walking, whether it's thinking about something else, whether it's watching a movie, and I just remind myself, sometimes I list like 5 things that I'm thankful for, whether it's like my health, being alive, my family, having a roof over my head. Sometimes just taking a step back from a situation and being like, okay, this is not that bad, or like zooming out, I feel like is really helpful, because no matter how bad something is, we still have some things to be thankful for. Just the fact that we're alive. So I feel like sometimes when you take the focus away and you focus on something else, that can really help. Zooming out can really help. Because I find myself stressing out over little things, whether it's like a performance or whether it's like an interview or like something that I'm nervous about, I'm like, okay, Camila, take a step back. And I'm sure for you, maybe it's like school or test or, I don't know, sometimes little things you have to take a step back. If it's like a big thing, obviously it really depends. There's a big range of scenarios, but try to talk to somebody. I mean, that's such a personal thing, but I feel like everybody, I think that she'll be ready to do that when she's ready to do that, and I don't think that, you know, you can push somebody because you never know what they're going through. You don't know what their relationship is like with her family. You don't know, you know, how comfortable she is with it herself. Maybe it's new to her. I think that it's important to just make sure that she feels supported and just be like, hey, I love you. And hopefully she has a good support system that make her feel, you know, accepted and loved. But I think that everybody probably comes out at their own time. So all you can do is just make her feel supported and loved, and when she's ready, she will do it. But I've learned that with stuff like that, in the meantime, all you can do is just love them. So yeah, just love her. I feel like, honestly, life is too short, and I've learned to not take that stuff too seriously, because sometimes you never know, like this person, you might be in love with them and you think that they're so amazing, but you don't really know what it's like to be in a relationship with that person. What if you're in a relationship with that person and it turns out they, you know, they don't fit, they're not the right fit for you. So don't put too much, don't invest too much, don't make it too much of a big deal, because you really don't know until you know. So yeah, don't take it too seriously. You're gonna have so many people that you fall in love with during your lifetime, so many people that you have crushes on, and life is just about, you know, trying stuff and being like, hey, I like you, and just putting yourself out there. And if they like you too, then be like, okay, great. And if they don't, you're gonna find somebody, you never know when. It could be the next day, it could be the next year. Everything happens when it's supposed to, though. But never let fear keep you from, you know, jumping into something that could be beautiful. So just take the jump and just do it. Say it. I feel like there's something, I know that long distance is probably hard, but I feel like there's something romantic about it, because you're not seeing each other for a lot of the time, but when you do see each other, there's so much anticipation built up and so much, you know, fantasizing and so much stuff in your head that when you do see them, you guys are probably so excited to see each other, and it makes your time that much more valuable. You know, I feel like when you're away from something and then you get just a little taste of it, it just makes you savor that so much more. So yeah, I feel like in the meantime, just be very romantic, and remember, I feel like the most important, the biggest sexual organ is the brain. But what I'm saying is, oh my God, was that bad? But I'm saying, like, you know, just, I feel like just saying sweet stuff to somebody and just cultivating that emotional side of it is really the most important thing. And you can still do that long distance, even if it's hard. And if it's not meant to be, you know, it won't be meant to be. This was so much fun. I hope I did a good job. Sorry I ramble a lot, but I hope I gave good advice.